What's up guys, Nashti here and welcome back to my channel. On this vlog episode, I'll be sharing with you the best smartphones in the Philippines under 7,000 pesos. So these are basically smartphones priced between 5,000 pesos and 7,000 pesos as of July 2020. In this particular price segment, the smartphones generally offer better value for money as compared to the below 5,000 pesos price bracket because features like 3 to 4 gigs of RAM is available, 64 gigs of base internal storage is also available. Some actually offer triple to quad camera setup and there's some sort of fast charging available too. So in general, if you're on a budget and you want a smartphone that doesn't really compromise on a lot of things, then you should be looking at this price bracket. So I'm sure you're excited as I am to find out which smartphones I'm talking about. So let's not wait any longer. Let's get down to business because it's about to get nasty. So what are the best smartphones in the Philippines under 7,000 pesos as of July 2020? Starting off with the Huawei Y6P, which packs a 6.3-inch IPS LCD of HD resolution. Running Android 10 with EMUI 10.1 on top, it is powered by an octa-core MediaTek Helio P22 chipset. It has 64 gigs of expandable storage and 4 gigs of RAM. It has a triple camera setup with a 13-megapixel primary camera coupled with a 5-megapixel ultra-wide camera and a depth sensor. It also has an 8-megapixel selfie camera. It has a 5,000 mAh battery with 10 watts fast charging support. It also has a 3.5mm jack, an FM radio, and a fingerprint scanner. Its price starts at 5,990 pesos and was released in May 2020. What I like about the Huawei Y6P is that it runs Android 10, it has generous storage and RAM, it has dual SIM support plus a micro SD card slot, it has a triple camera setup, and a large battery with fast charging support. However, it does not have Google Play services and has the dated micro USB 2.0 port. Next, we have another Huawei smartphone, which is the Y7. It comes with a 6.26-inch IPS LCD of HD resolution. It runs Android 8.1 with EMUI 8.2 on top and is powered by an octa-core Qualcomm Snapdragon 450 chipset. It has 64 gigs of expandable storage and 4 gigs of RAM. It has a dual camera setup with a 13-megapixel primary camera plus a depth sensor. It has an 8-megapixel selfie camera. It has a 4,000 mAh battery with 10 watts fast charge support. It also features a 3.5mm jack, an FM radio, and a fingerprint scanner. Its price starts at 6,990 pesos. It was launched in 2019 but released in the Philippines in March 2020. What I like about the Huawei Y7 is its generous storage and RAM, its dual SIM support plus a dedicated microSD card slot, and fast charging. However, it only runs Android 8.1, it has a less capable chipset, and has the old micro USB 2.0 port. The third smartphone on our list is the Nokia 2.3, which packs a 6.2-inch IPS LCD of HD resolution, which has an always-on display. It runs Android 10 and is part of the Android One program and is powered by a quad-core MediaTek Helio A22 chipset. It has 32 gigs of expandable storage and 2 gigs of RAM. It features a dual camera setup with a 13-megapixel primary camera and a 2-megapixel depth sensor. It also has a 5-megapixel selfie camera. Keeping the lights on is a 4,000 mAh battery and features a 3.5mm jack and FM radio. Its price starts at 5,990 pesos and was released in January 2020. What I like about the Nokia 2.3 is its always-on display, Android 10 plus Android One program, and its dual SIM support plus a dedicated microSD card slot. However, it has a less capable chipset, low RAM, features the old micro USB 2.0 port, no fast charging, and no fingerprint scanner. Up next, we have the Realme 5i with a 6.52-inch IPS LCD of HD resolution protected by Gorilla Glass. It runs Android 10 with the Realme UI on top and is powered by an octa-core Qualcomm Snapdragon 665 chipset. It has 32 gigs of expandable storage and 3 gigs of RAM. The Realme 5i boasts a quad camera setup with a 12-megapixel primary camera, an 8-megapixel ultra-wide camera, and a macro and depth sensor. In front, an 8-megapixel camera could be found. It has a 5000 mAh battery with 10 watts fast charge support and reverse charging. It also features 3.5mm jack, and FM radio, and a fingerprint scanner. Its price starts at 6,490 pesos and was released in January 2020. What I like about the Realme 5i is its Gorilla Glass protection, Android 10, capable chipset, dual SIM support, and a dedicated microSD card slot, its quad camera setup with 4K video capture, its large battery capacity with fast charging support. However, it has the old micro USB 2.0 port. Then we have the Realme C3, which packs a 6.5-inch IPS LCD of HD resolution with Gorilla Glass 3 protection. Running Android 10 with Realme UI on top, it's powered by an octa-core MediaTek Helio G70 chipset with 32 gigs of expandable storage and 3 gigs of RAM. It has a triple camera setup with a 12-megapixel primary camera, the 2-megapixel macro sensor, and a 2-megapixel depth sensor, along with a 5-megapixel selfie shooter. It has a 5000 mAh battery with 10 watts fast charge support and reverse charging. It also features a 3.5mm audio jack, an FM radio, and a fingerprint scanner. And don't forget, it's splash resistant. Its price starts at 5,990 pesos and was released in March 2020. What I like about the Realme C3 is its Gorilla Glass 3 protection, Android 10, dual SIM support and a dedicated microSD card slot, triple camera setup, large battery capacity with fast charging, and splash resistance. However, it has an old micro USB 2.0 port. The sixth smartphone on our list is the Samsung Galaxy A01, which comes with a 5.7-inch PLS TFT display of HD resolution. It runs Android 10 with One UI 2 on top, and under the hood is an octa-core Qualcomm Snapdragon 439 chipset. It has 16 gigs of expandable storage and 2 gigs of RAM. It has a dual camera setup with a 13-megapixel main camera and a 2-megapixel depth sensor. It also has a 5-megapixel selfie shooter. It has a 3000 mAh battery, a 3.5mm jack, and an FM radio. Its price starts at 5,490 pesos and was released in February 2020. The things I like about the Samsung Galaxy A01 is that it's the cheapest smartphone on our list. It has Android 10 and has dual SIM card support plus a micro SD card slot. However, it has small storage and low RAM, uses the old micro USB 2.0 port, it has a small battery with no fast charging, and it has no fingerprint scanner. Last but definitely not the least is the Xiaomi Redmi 9, which sports a 6.53-inch IPS LCD of full HD resolution protected by Gorilla Glass 3. It runs Android 10 with MIUI 12 on top and is powered by an octa-core MediaTek Helio G80 chipset. It has 32 gigs of expandable storage and 3 gigs of RAM. It has a quad camera setup with a 13-megapixel primary camera plus an 8-megapixel ultra-wide angle camera, a 5-megapixel macro sensor, and a 2-megapixel depth sensor. It has an 8-megapixel selfie camera. Connectivity-wise, it has USB-C, USB OTG, along with an infrared port. It has a 5020 mAh battery and supports 18 watts fast charging. It also features a 3.5mm audio jack, an FM radio, and a fingerprint scanner. Its price starts at 6,990 pesos and was released in June 2020. What I like about the Xiaomi Redmi 9 is its full HD resolution, Gorilla Glass 3 protection, Android 10 with a capable chipset, its quad camera setup, dual SIM support, and a microSD card slot, large battery capacity coupled with fast charging, infrared blaster, and its USB-C port. Let's look at a comparison table that I made for these 7 smartphones. For display and resolution, the Xiaomi Redmi 9 tops them all with its full HD resolution, while the rest come with just HD. As for OS and chipset, it's a tie between the Xiaomi Redmi 9 and the Realme 5i. For base storage and memory, the Huawei Y7 and the Huawei Y6P starts at 64 gigs of expandable base storage and come with 4 gigs of RAM. For cameras, it's again a tie between the Realme 5i and the Xiaomi Redmi 9 with quad cameras at the back. As for battery and charging, the Xiaomi Redmi 9 is on top with its 5020 mAh battery and 18 watts fast charging support. As you can see, all 7 smartphones have been released in 2020. And all of them are priced between 5,000 pesos and 7,000 pesos. For me, the smartphone that offers the best value for money in this price range is the Xiaomi Redmi 9. It's the only phone on our list that has a full HD resolution, it has the largest battery capacity, and is the fastest charging among the 7 smartphones. It's the only one that has an infrared blaster and a USB-C port as well. A good alternative and our runner-up is the Realme 5i. Its screen is also protected by Gorilla Glass. It runs Android 10 with a capable chipset. It's the only other phone which has a quad camera setup, plus it records 4K videos and has a large battery capacity with fast charging support. So as you can see, all 7 smartphones mentioned on this vlog episode have been released this year, 2020, and they're all within the 5,000 to 7,000 pesos price bracket. And depending on their specs, they're actually priced competitively and accordingly. So I hope I was able to help you decide on which smartphone to buy next. And this list is a pretty good list to start with. So thank you so much guys for tuning in. If you enjoyed watching this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing and like the notification bell. Only here on the channel where Nashti is nice. I'm Nashti. Till then.